Hello students, how are you? I think all you're fine at your home. Students, I think all you're doing well in this online classes, and I hope that whatever is taught in the class is understood by you. So students, let's begin with a new lesson. Okay, and 3 lessons we completed. Okay, the lessons were A Wrong Man in Workers Paradise, and we have The Elixir of Life, and one poem we did. This one, it is taken from your poem, and it is a poem for you, To a Pair of Sarah Screens, written by Manmohan Singh. And today we are going to do The Gift of the Maggie. It is written by O. Henry. Yes, what do you mean by the theme of the lesson, The Gift of the Maggie? Are you doing an imagination of eatable Maggie? No, it is not like that. The Maggie which you are going to cook in your bowl, no, it is not that Maggie. This Maggie is different one. The meaning of this Maggie is 3 gifts. What are these 3 gifts? These 3 gifts are presented to the king, and the king is of Rome, and he received these gifts from a visitor, a traveler who traveled from one place to another, and he given these 3 gifts to the king. And according to the story and according to the play or a novel, the gift of the Maggie is a small short extract which is taken here in this textbook, and it is written by O. Henry. Who is the author of this story? O. Henry. Yes. Telling about the O. Henry, he is a writer, scholar, and he is very passionate for writing about historical tales and historical love and affection tales. So today we will going to begin such a small extract which is taken by O. Henry here for your textbook, and this textbook is a bonding, affection, love and a good relationship in between 2 characters. The name of the characters are Dell and another Dellingham. Okay, here Dell and Dellingham are the 2 young couples. Okay, and young husband is Dellingham, and the young wife, she is Dell. And what made the author to write about this extract? Before beginning this poem, let's read it out about the poet, or about the author. What the author's achievements and what his biography, let's read it out. So comes to page number 47, and it is mentioned there. O. Henry was the pen name of William Sidney Potter. See, William Sidney is a author here, and he is not a selfish one. If he means that I have to give my name behind my every work, so he can, but he given the name to his pen, and the name of the pen is O. Henry. Okay, with the help of that pen, he is writing the extracts and the poems and some stanzas and the short stories which having a great moralities. So here O. Henry is the name of the pen, and it is given by William Sidney Potter. Okay, he is the author. He was born on September 11, 1862. Okay, author was born on September 11, 1862 in Greensboro, North California. Okay, and he became famous for his short stories. He started the Rolling Stone, a humorous weekly, in 1887, and he was writing for Houston Post. He wrote a story each week for New York World. See, he wrote a story for New York World, means he is from Western countries, he is from America, and continuously he is writing from different magazines, and he is writing very nicely. The first collection of his stories appeared in 1904 in Cabbages and Kings. See, his first collection of his stories appeared in 1904, hardly 2 centuries before. Okay, what it tells, which was immediately popular. Other collection followed, including the 4 Millions, the Trimmed Lamp. So these are the collections which is written by our author William Sidney, and he given his name to a pen O. Henry. So name of the pen is O. Henry, and this O. Henry pen's name signifies to the author William Sidney Porter. So students, after all, he is a very good author, and he wrote for the bondings, affection, love, okay, good relationship, and the relationship in between the society, and he taken some past study for including here in the story. So his story is not only about the imaginations. His story belongs to rationalized characters, or which is more rational, which is more reality. Okay, what happens in the past in a real manner, he is going to express in the same manner in his story and extracts. So students, let's begin what is there in the extract which is taken by a O. Henry. Here we have a pre-reading activity. Let's read it out. You must have received many gifts. Which one did you like the most and why? So here an interesting thing is going to be happen. You must receive many gifts. When did you going to receive many gifts? On the occasion of your birthday or on some another day? Let's say you have a birthday. So many people are bringing a gifts to celebrate your birthday in a very joyful manner, where you are very happy, and it will be such a great day of your life, and you are celebrating it very nicely with your friends. So what are the gifts you received when your friends comes with a gift and give it to you? So when you open it, what are those gifts? Just recall your memories when you were childhood, or you celebrating your birthday in your home. So gifts you received from your friends, just open it and say it, what is that gift? So it is a such kind of memory with you, okay, when you receive a gifts from your friends. So each gift having a great memory, is it? And that memory is never going to be forgotten. So here we having an extract on the gift of Maggie, the 3 gifts which is brought by a man to a king, and this is there in the full novel, and the gift of the Maggie is a one part of that novel which is here in your book. So let's begin with this. So students, let's begin with the first para of the lesson. Okay, first para of this lesson. Paragraph 1. So students, I would like to tell you that get ready with your textbooks and put your fingertip wherever I am reading for your better understanding. 1. $1.87, that was all, and 60 cents of it was in pennies. Pennies saved 1 and 2 at a time by bulldozing the grocer and the vegetable man and the butcher until one's cheeks burnt, with the silent imputation of parsimony that such close dealing implied. See, the first paragraph of the extract began with a beautiful lady, a young lady of a couple, a young lady from a couple, and that young lady is known as Dale. So Dale is a young lady, and she is saving a money for her husband. Why she is saving her money? Let's read it out. So $1.87. What do you mean by $1.87? $1 and 80,000 cent. $1.80,000 means this is the sign of the dollar, and $1.87 it considered. This 0.87 is cents, and it is the unit of currency, and it can be used there in the western countries of America. So here that was all, and 60 cents of it was in pennies. Pennies is also a unit of currency. Pennies saved 1 and 2 at a time by bulldozing the grocer and the vegetable man and the butcher until one's cheeks burnt, with the silent imputation of parsimony. Yes, that such close dealing implied. So here a lady is too poor because both the couples are poor and they belongs to poor family. Here lady decides for herself, I want to give my husband something. For that she has to save money. How she is going to save money? By bargaining, by bulldozing with vegetable seller, by bulldozing with the grocery shop owner. Okay, if she goes to grocery, if she purchase something, she will try to make him bargain. Okay, some 1 to 2 cents would be saved. From that money could she going to be purchased a gift for her husband. So when she is going to save that money, she is always in the attitude of bulldozing. She is always in a silent imputation. Okay, she always claim that, okay, this money should be saved because you are putting too much of amount on grocery and vegetable items. So you have to make it more cheaper. Okay, again and again she is bargaining for saving more money. Okay, of parsimony, that such close dealing implied, unwilling to spend. She is unwilling to spend more money because she want to save money. For what? For bringing a gift for her husband on the occasion of Christmas Eve. Yes. So here we have some difficult words which should be noted here in the paragraph 1. What are these difficult words? We have here imputation. The word imputation. Imputation. What do you mean by the word imputation? It is a claim. This word is a claim. Claiming means whenever you are going to shop or something wrong happens with you, so you are always claiming your right. This is my right, it should be happen like this. So it is not a such kind of wrongful thing. So imputation means claiming. And another word is here. The word is parsimony. 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 Yes. What do you mean by this word? This word signifies for spending less money. Means unwilling to spend money. Did you see your friend? Maybe your friend is more parsimony. Okay, a friend or a person who spend less money is called parsimony. Unwilling to spend money. Some of your friends are more parsimony, who is too conservative, and he is not going to be spent more money, okay, in the unworthy thing. So whatever they are spending money, they want to make it more productivity. So here the woman in the extract in the story is parsimony, that she is not she is unwilling to spend more money. So she is made for save more money. Okay. 3 times Della counted it, $1.87, and the next day would be Christmas. See, here a character we have Della. Okay, character Della. She is a young lady. She is a young lady in the story, and she is counting her cents, her dollars again and again, and she wants to save more money, and she don't want to spend money because a Christmas Eve, a Christmas festival is going to become within some couples of days, and she want to save those money for purchasing such a beautiful gifts for her young husband. Comes to another paragraph. Yes, in the first paragraph you learned that here is one character Della, and she not supposed to spend more money because she is she want to save money for purpose of purchasing a gift for her husband in the Christmas Eve. Now comes to another one. There was clearly nothing to do but flop down on the shabby little couch and howl. So Della did it. So there was nothing to do because money was spent, and she was here with some less amount. So what she do? She flopped down. Okay, she flopped down. Okay, what do you mean by flop? Flop is useless. Okay, did you heard the name flop? This movie is flop and it not ran at all. Okay, then what we should set to that movie? No, this is flop movie, it is not going to be earn money. So here flop is useless. Flop down on the shabby little couch and howl. Here Della, seeing her saving, it is decreasing very instantly in a very drastic manner. So she taken a tense and she got some tension, some hypertensive she became, and she sat on the floor, okay, as a useless woman, and with such a little couch and howl. She sat on the sofa, okay, on the howl where it is kept on the floor, and she shouted loudly. She shouted loudly, why money is not saved? Why it is spended more? So Della did it. She also did it, which instigates the moral reflection that life is made up of sobs, sniffles and smiles, with sniffles predominating. See, and when she seen her wallet, her money is decreasing day by day. Even she couldn't able to save money for the Christmas Eve because she belongs to poor predominantly society. So when she seen that my saving is gradually decreasing day by day, she become more hypertensive. She become anxious. She sat on the sofa and shouted loudly. When she was shouting, she signifies her way of behaviorness with the sobs, sniffles and smiles, with sniffles predominating. What do you mean by sobs here? Long, loud sound. Sob is long, loud sound, and sob signifies speaking while crying. She starts speaking to their friends while crying. And sniffles, breathing air. Sniffles means while speaking, while crying, when you breathe air, it is called sniffing. Yes, take it in the glossary. Now this is para 2 for you. In paragraph 2, you have 2 new words. These are sobs. Sobs means speaking loudly. Speaking loudly. And another sniffles. Sniffles. Sniffles is crying while speaking. Crying while speaking. Why she is doing all these things? She is doing because she is totally fed up with her life, with her poor status, and she want to save money for presenting a gift for her husband. Yes. Comes to third para. While the mistress of the home is gradually subsiding from the first stage to the second, take a look at the home. When this mistress Della is trying to save money more and more, and she wants to subsidize more things when she goes to grocery, vegetable or to sculpture where animals were cutted down, or in the beef shop. She is trying more and more bargain with the owners, and she is saving money. Okay, and she is comparing her expenditure and income, and she wants to save money for the Christmas Eve. But she is hypertensive because her wallet is decreasing their money day by and day. So this mistress is gradually thinking all about these things, and she wants to subsidizing more amount in a very systematic manner. A furnished flat at $8 per week. She and her husband were residing in a furnished flat, and which is in the $8 per week, where they have to pay $8 per week to that flat. It did not exactly beg our description, but it certainly had that word on the lookout for the mendicancy squared. So she is comparing her to a beggar who is always asking for money from the peoples. So she is telling that, okay, it did not exactly beg our description. They were residing in the flat and they were not so poor. So they are not looks like a beggar who is residing there on the streets or on the footpath or on the pedestrian way and always asking money from the people. They were not like that. They were from the middle family but poor, and they were hardly struggling hard to save money. But it certainly had that word on the lookout for the mendicancy squad. But it certainly, when she becomes so depressed, she tries to compare herself from the beggar mendicancy, from the beggar way of behaving. The word mendicancy squad. Mendicancy means begging, begging for something. Mendicancy. This word signifies for begging. Begging for something. Okay. Yes. Mendicancy squad. So here in the third para, she is subsidizing her expenditure and income, and she is trying to decrease her expenditure and increase her income, but is not happening because of the costly market. And here she having only one aim for a saving of money for her husband's gift, and she is not going to work it out. And in this depress, she is comparing herself with the beggars who were sitting always in the pedestrian way and asking for money from the people who are moving from one place to another in front of them. So one way she is not comparing that we are more better than the beggar, but our expenditure is more but income is less. That's why we having a stress of money. Now comes to fourth para. What is there? In the vestibule below was a letter box into which no letter would go, and an electric button from which no mortal finger could wax a ring. Also appertaining thereunto was a card bearing the same, Mr. James Dillingham Young. So she is telling the description of her home, of her flat. She is telling that in the vestibule below. What do you mean by the word vestibule? Vestibule. This vestibule is a place, the entrance of the hall. When you enter in the hall, it is called vestibule. The entrance of hall is called vestibule. Okay, and she is showing the description of her home and the flat. Here the description of her home, when we enter from the main gate, it is like a big hall. Okay, big hall with some big rooms. Okay, and the things were placed here and there in the shabby manner. She is telling the description. In the vestibule below was a letter box. There is one letter box, okay, into which no letter would go. In the vestibule big hall, there was one letter box where not even single letter will go inside, and an electric button from which no mortal finger could wax a ring. And there is one electric button from which no mortal finger could wax a ring. From which no mortal, even electric box, it is empty and it is openable, necked electric box, where she is going to put her finger, she will get an electric shock. Such kind of status is the hall where she is residing. Also appertaining thereunto, also relating to, was a card bearing the name. So there she could find a card, and the name of that card is Mr. James Dillingham Young. So in front of the hall, there she found a card, and the card name is Mr. Dillingham Young. So it is a description of her hall and the description of her house, where she mentioned in the third and fourth paragraph. In the third and fourth paragraph, she is telling that my home is not so big. We have to pay the 8 cents dollar our home, to our house, and to our rented home where we are staying. We have a big hall. In the big hall, all the things are placed here and there in the shabby manner. And we have one letter box where not even a single letter will go inside. But in front of the hall, there is one place where a card is placed, and on that card, my husband's name is there. Now comes to fifth paragraph. The Dillingham had been flung to the breeze during a former period of prosperity when its possessor was being paid $30 per week. So her husband is working with the possessors, and that time was the prosperity and the dignity time, where they were very enjoying when her husband was paid $30 per week. But now what is happening? Now when the income was shrunk, Earlier her husband is working under the possessors and he used to pay $30 per week. But now it is decreased to $20 per week. Though they were thinking seriously of contracting to a modest and unassuming. Now they were thinking of not taking to ability or unassuming D. So they were thinking about the contracting in between taking or giving up. Is we should purchase a gift for each and other in the Christmas Eve, or we should sit as it is with saving our money for our future need. No, it is not like that. They should purchase something in the Christmas Eve, because in the Christmas festival everyone are going to purchase something in the festival and they don't want to give up this event. So they want to save their amount and purchase something for each another for increasing their love, bonding, affection, relationship in a good manner. They were thinking seriously of contracting to a modest and unassuming D. But whenever Mr. James Dillingham Young came home and reached his flat above, he was called Jim and greatly hugged by Mrs. James Dillingham Young, already introduced to you as Della, which is all very good. Everything is happening there very good in between the couples. Whenever the James comes to the home, so they were very happy. They talk in a good manner. They hug each and other. And Mrs. James Dillingham is very happy with her husband. And they were residing in a good furnished flat. They were not beggar. They are residing in good furnished flat. But their income is less. Della finished her cry and attended to her chicks with the powder rag. See, Della finished her cry. Even Della is very tense for saving her money and she is crying for this. Okay, and attended to her chicks with the powder. And she attended her chicks. Chicks means existence. So here new word came in the sixth para. Chicks. The meaning of chicks is existence. Okay, and she taken her husband in a good manner, but she having one rag in her hand. What do you mean by rag? Old cloth for cleaning. Okay, and another word means old cloth, and it is meant for cleaning. Old cloth for cleaning. Yes. So she having a old cloth and she is cleaning the flat. It means she is a homemaker. So what all this work is done by a homemaker itself. So she is not going outside for any work. So a rag in her hand seems like that she is a homemaker. Yes. She stood by the window and looked out dully at a grey cat walking a grey fence in a grey backyard. She stood along with the window and she is taking the glance of outside, and she seen a grey cat is walking along the grey graveyard. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day. Tomorrow is a Christmas Day. Again and again she is memorizing. She is planning for the Christmas day and she know tomorrow is a Christmas Eve, and she had only $1.87 and she had only less amount where she has to spend it for a Christmas Eve, and she is not going to give up and she want to take something better gift for her husband. But if he takes the amount, it is too less. It is decreasing gradually day by day, day by day. Yes. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a present. So she has $1.87 and she want to buy a present to her husband, and it is running in her mind. She had been saving every penny she could for months. With this result, $20 a week doesn't go far. Expenses had been greater than she had calculated, than always are. Only $1.87 to buy a present for Jim. Is it possible? No, not at all. She is thinking like this. Her Jim, many a happy hour she had spent planning for something nice for him, something fine and rare and sterling, something just little bit near to being worthy of the honor of being owned by Jim. So she is planning to do something different for her husband, that her husband will commemorate her. Yes, my lady, you did such a good thing for me, and it is very memorable, and this day is a special day which you made for me, and it is not going to be dememorized. So she is thinking all those things in her first day before Christmas. But here income is less, expenditure is more, and she having very less amount where she could purchase a gift which she decided for her husband. So students, so in this part we completed 6 to 7 paragraphs. In the coming video we were going to do another paragraphs. So in these paragraphs, what did you learn? You were clarified that there are two characters, two couple, okay, and they were very passionate about the Christmas Eve and they want to purchase something for each of them. So but they having less income and expenditure is more, and they are thinking about this, and it is going to be more tense for them. So let's see what happens in the coming videos, what they are going to do with the Christmas Eve. Will they purchase a gift for them, or they will sit as it is idle and they will celebrate Christmas Eve without any fun or joy? Let's have a look over it. For that you have to be with this lesson. So students, take care, be happy, and thank you for being with me.